Hello everyone and welcome along to Woodside. It's video time again today, and today we're going to be concentrating on this bottom quarter of the map. A few people have been asking me to do a video regarding the area that we're working in, and this is basically it. We are in the bottom quarter of the map down here. We've got as far as field 60, which is definitely above the halfway stage. I'm guessing the halfway mark must kind of be around there, something like that, down to there. So although we've got a few fields in on the map at the moment, there is still a lot to do. We've got this massive village and very dense populated amount of houses there. There's a few houses down here that we have to build, and there's also quite a few houses up in this section of the map, but around kind of this main area there, and also probably down this area here, there's not too amount of houses. So I've decided to start in probably the most busiest area of the map. Lots and lots of blender work needed, but what I will be doing, I shall certainly be potentially doing away with some of these potential houses here and having like an industrial area. So I know that we've got an area here earmarked for some kind of a sell point stroke productions. The same here, and these kind of areas there. They're all earmarked for whether it be sell points, placeable production points. I think this field here, looking at this field 31 in real life, that might be quite a large grass area, so I may even be able to turn that into some kind of an industrial area, things like this. There's a brand new housing estate here, but I'm not going to include it on the map, so again that is a perfect opportunity to put perhaps some placeable areas in there. And then down here we've got quite a large, this is a garden centre in real life, so yeah, we've got a very large area there that we can do, and I've also sectioned an area off down there, but a lot of this has changed. This is quite an early, this background image won't be used. This is quite an early version that I was working on, but I have edited this a little bit that we can take a look at once we go in the map. I have got as far as putting a border in GE, but I haven't yet got that set up. So if I was to click on here, now this is the first area within the game that I'm working on at the moment. This old kind of, I don't know, kind of a flintstone cobble type stone here that I'm working on. This old kind of derelict farm. I mean, this will be kind of a usable little shed, but it will be kind of a little rundown farm. It's obviously not being used at the moment. In real life, this has all been done away with now. There's some houses being built on here, but luckily Google has still got the older images here, and there is like an old ruins, church ruins in the background, which will be a nice feature. If we just scroll up this road a little bit, you can see that. I'm pretty sure you can. Maybe you can't see that over this wall. Yeah, you can just see it. Like, you can see the overgrownness here, that there is kind of like a ruins in there. And one of the first houses, this is Mount Farm, one of the first houses that we've got to be working on will be this. This is the starting point within the map that I decided to start blendering. So I've already got some of these walls in that we can potentially take a look at in a minute in the map, and then this is another little area here. So there's a signpost here, wood farm cottages, which is probably, if I remember correctly, the reason where I got the name for the Woodside map. Just come out of there. I'm losing my voice a little bit today. I think I have a little bit of a cold on the way. And then this signpost here, Edgefield, this is where the map is based. You've got Saxford just down the road there, Norwich, and just over that area there, we have got a place called Saxlingham, not the Saxlingham that the Norwich map was on, because that is south, which is right down there, a long way down there. We are right up on the Norfolk coast, right up, as you can see. I need to scroll up too far to get to the North Norfolk coast, and Saxlingham, the North Saxlingham is over here. We will be visiting that in this particular area here of Saxlingham, also Woodside. I plan to do a map, all this surrounding area here at some point will be made into a map. Obviously it takes a little bit of time. And this is the area I was talking about a moment ago, this large garden centre here. This area here and this little field there, perfect opportunity to put some productions and sell points and all that good stuff onto the map. And we've also started down here right in the left hand corner. This is quite a large cow farm, as you can see here by the imagery. Quite a large cow farm that at some point we have to get to, but with the amount of blender work we can just go down now and have a look. I think originally I started here on this. Yeah, a while back I did start making this house here, and I know I did cock something up. I don't think I got these windows in the right place, so after spending a day working on the building, I basically threw that in the bin. But if we can just click along and just go up this road here in the Google, you will see that here's the farm entrance here. Quite an old rundown farm, the type of farm that I like, and so this here, perfect opportunity to perhaps have a garage or a workshop in there, so that'll be nice to build. Yeah, it looks like there's a little entrance there to the field, so that'll be fun to make all of that. And then this road here is just basically a little country lane that I think I have already shown, and there is down here another little kind of a farm area. I have got this little bit built in the map. I haven't got as far as the houses yet, and there's obviously a lot of this cobble stone type effect around here, which we will be using that to quite a large effect within the map, and that is for sure. And then we just come up to this road here, because we will be able to drive this little area in a moment. Come down here, and another kind of little derelict farm here again, as you can probably see. These reoccurring cobblestones, which do seem to repeat themselves in this area quite a lot. The closer you tend to get to the coast in Norfolk, the more you tend to see the cobblestone effect type buildings, which is quite nice. But this is an area that I'm sort of well underway within the map. We've got all this junction down, haven't got as far as building this house yet. You can probably see here from these fancy ends on the house here, the fascias and gable ends and whatnot, and these fancy little roof tiles. Yeah, they're going to be fun to make, that is for sure. I'll have a dabble. I don't want to waste too much time, because I mean, even the windows look at nice fancy shapes, and I could be making those in Blender, but I think because of the size of the map I might prefer an image to replace that. But a lot of these fields are in, you can see there in the distance, and then the west edge of the map is about somewhere down here ish, down about there, and then if you look out the distance there you can sort of see some trees and that type of stuff. And I think what we're on here, 77 metres above sea ground, 59, so it does drop down there. Unfortunately, this is just off the board of the map, quite a large farming area here. If I'd have moved the map a little bit to the left, we could have had all of this. We've got a quarry there, but what I can do is I can stand on the road here, not be get any closer, and zoom the camera in. I might be able to replicate some of these here, but like I said, we're about doing a 16x map. This is, the map has to finish somewhere, but I do have plans to move into this area here at a later date and to expand the map. I can say that I think this map will be a popular map based on the area, and again we can have a little visual aspect of this corner. This is currently in development in the map and being made. Just zoom down this little road here so you can get a feel for the real life area, and then what we can drive down when we do get in the game in a minute, and we stick a little montage on for you all to have a quick look at. Down here there is a start of the big wall. Here we go. So we got this big, again, cobble effect type brick wall here. Must be a good 5 meters high, maybe even higher if you include the footings. And then we're back to, let's go one more click, and then like I say, you can't see it now, yes we can. And then we're back to this farmhouse here again, which is going to be the first house that we build, which will be a purchasable house, and a nice big kind of yuppie farmer type mansion there. And I suppose in theory there's no reason why that can't be the farmhouse for this kind of rundown little farm here. We've got like a little field here, we've got a couple of moo cows in there and an old shed there, but yeah, I'll have to get my thinking cap on and make this look. But I mean, the majority of this is going to be old rundown buildings, so I guess if people want modern, they'll have to knock it down, but this is all that adds the character to the maps. People that want to knock all this down and put all that modern nonsense in, that's just taken away from the character of the area. And then we've got this little kind of old house here again with a little bit of cobblestone effect going on there. And then I think over in here, this area here, like, is almost like a bit of a national trust area where I think you can go for a jog or a walk round. As you look through there, that isn't farmable, but it'll probably be farmable in the game. Yeah, but we're on high ground here, like we're on 65 meters, and down there is 57, so it's a good drop. I think if we go down there, I don't think we can see too much into the distance, but you can certainly see a forest line there, which is in the map, which we can take a look at in a minute. So we're looking down there at the forest up there. There's not really a good place here because the hedges are quite high, and I think this is the other big field there that we were looking at in the map. As you can see, this field here, that's going to be a good 40 acres, and I think we've got a little bit of this field here, not too much, because the east of the map, and I think it runs kind of up there across to here like this. And then we've got this farm here, which, if I remember, is Lowe's farm. Lowe's farm on the message board there. So again, we've got this nice little area here with these undulations, and we've got a little bit of a water feature down there, which is we've got some there. I'm not sure if that's on the map, but we've got this big area there, look, which basically runs all the way around the map, runs down there, comes all the way down here. don't think there's a ford. No, there's like a little bridge there, so there won't be no fords on this map. Some more water features and whatnot there. Again, just scroll down to this bridge here, but I don't want to spend too long in this area of the map because this isn't where we're working at the minute. This is beyond the area we're working in. We're at the moment stuck down in this southwest corner here. We're working this field here was the one we were looking at in Blender. Sorry, not in Blender, in the game. 45 acres this field here is. If we bring up back in here, that's field 3, look, 45 acres. And then that is the other square one that we were then looking at. And there is the water feature there with the bridge. So, but that's for future videos. So, I think that is enough talking today. I think what we'll do is now I shall just get a little bit of video footage to show you some progress in this kind of region here, and where I've started building the cobble wall down there. That is going to be a very nice area to be driving through and working in. So I'll give you a quick montage of that for a couple of minutes, and then that will be it for this little video. But you know, for those people that have been asking me to see the PDA, this is basically it. This is going to be a big field. Where's the other big field? 57, which is going to come all. It's going to come all the way around here. It's going to come all the way around there, down there, and it's going to come all the way back up here, and then it's going to travel along there, come round there. So that is going to be another massive field. That field and this has got to be approaching the 100-acre mark for sure. But it feels like number 3 is 45 acres. Things like this, that type of field, and these kind of big ones there, they're going to be around about the 40-ish. Again, that's quite a big field. And we've got, as you can see, some industrial units there, which I've added in. They're not there in real life. That is just a forest, but that's a good place to put some cell points. We've got a wood yard up there. But that is where I shall leave this for now. We shall talk about this area more in depth when we get to it. But for now, we are concentrating in this area. So, like I said, I'll get some machinery driving around, and we'll have a little bit of a montage. So, I shall, until the next time, I shall see you all again soon.